or that phone's going to ring till someone picks it up. Wow, even your silence can go against you. Yes, Nikita, you're right. I felt like a movie star every time I went to set for those 3 or 4 days.
Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Thanks to digital, we can meet you virtually here.
Thank you, Nikita.
How have these lockdown days been for you? I think it's been more than 4 months now. How are you coping up?
Yeah. Well, I think it's the best of times and the worst of times. All those cliches are true, which I'm sure you've realized as well. It is one day at a time. It is enjoy the moment and make the most of what you have right now.
Netflix has announced these series of films and web shows, and we know that we're all looking forward to Masaba Masaba. Although I do want to connect it to what's happening around right now. Maybe people now have the time to stay inside their homes and binge watch, because they have nothing else to do. Do you see this as an opportunity as well? How is the whole excitement about it? Has it kind of faded a little bit because of what's happening around, or it's still you still can't wait to see yourself on the screen?
A bit of everything. Yes, as the lockdown happened, I was on 2 shows that had released. One was for Voot Select and another one was for Amazon Prime. And it gave me great joy, knowing that more people are watching it. So even Masaba Masaba on Netflix, when it comes out, there would be a fair amount of people who would watch it, and perhaps otherwise without a lockdown, those numbers would not be able to, we wouldn't be able to gather so much audience.
I want to get some sneak peek for Masaba Masaba. I mean, we deserve it. We've been waiting for hell too long now. Kuch to batana chahiye aapko.
I got to say, when Sonam Nair, who's a friend of ours as well, and she's very funny, our director, when she told me about this, and she said Ashwini PRD is producing it and it's going to be for Netflix, and I was like, woo, so what it's about? So she was like, it's based on Masaba Gupta's life. I said, cool. And once, here, you want a story? I was flying back from Delhi to Bombay, actually. This was years ago, maybe about 8 years ago. And Masaba Gupta was on the Air India flight, and I had a seat, probably not in the same row. It wasn't a full flight. So I saw her and I went and introduced myself. And the thing is, we had never met, but I knew about her and she had known about me as she had seen some of my work. So I said, do you mind if I sit over here? I got no friends. So the both of us sat and we chatted away for the whole flight. Went our separate ways, of course. And then years later, we meet for the show. And so that was one Andar Ki Baat I wanted to share with you, that flight that we had taken from Delhi to Bombay. And why I like this story is because I've never been part of something like this, because Masaba and Nina ji are playing themselves, their names and their the people they are, of course, with a certain heightened level of performance, and the rest of us are actors in it. So I play this sort of a investor called Dhairya, who's he's like a wannabe cool guy, but he also has this certain business tycoonness about him. So he's a bit awkward, but he's sweet, and and he contributes to her life and her story. But I just thought it was fantastic to be able to be part of the show. And I like Woody Allen's work, where in some movies he sort of broke the fourth wall, and sometimes it's talking to the audience, So this is one of those projects which is something I've never worked on a style like this. And Sonam Nair's humor is very funny. It's quite quirky.
you've displayed your versatility with films like No One Killed Jessica, NH10, Shaitan, just to name a few. And of course, you mentioned about your recent appearance with the Amazon show 4 More Shots Please. There's Riker Case. Do you somehow feel, I mean, we've seen you on both these mediums, whether it be films or it be an OTT platform. Do you sometimes think as an artist, the medium really matters?
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. I come from a stage training background, and when the mass media started picking up, that's when I started getting calls for more camera work, like movies. When we have an OTT platform and we're doing a show for that, you're shooting about 8 to 9 pages a day. On a film, you're shooting about 3 pages a day. So you have that much more breathing time, more, a scene can marinate, you can do those many more takes. With this, you got to do everything a little faster. It's not as hectic as television is, but it is not as, I would say, lenient with time as a film is. So there's a fair amount of work that you're trying to pack in and try to capture.
Which has been that one film or character where you felt like you've arrived, in the industry, or you've got this really crazy, unexpected love and response from the audience?
Yes, there was one, now that you've asked me, but it was for myself. And I only had like 2 or 3 scenes in it, in the movie actually. It was a movie called Kala Kandi. Saif Ali Khan's in it, Vijay Raz, Deepak Dobriyal, and I just had 3 scenes in it, and I had to handle these guns, which were Magnum guns, and I was this sort of like gunslinger, and they aged me for it. Ashi Dua is the producer of it. I felt like a movie star every time I went to set for those 3 or 4 days. So in those side of micro levels, I felt it, but it didn't last too long in terms of feeling that I had arrived. I always feel like I have to start from scratch.
How much of role would you give to theatre in shaping you up as an actor and helping you with all the performances that you've done in films or any other medium? How much of that credit would go to theatre?
I owe everything to the stage. Everything from my personal life to my career, because that level of confidence you can't buy. I mean, you need to sort of hone and work towards, and it's a collective, right? So you have an entire team working towards it, and then you become that Obama for your political party. You're the face of it, whereas you're backed by many hours of work and a lot of just energy. So I believe that's a beautiful question you've asked me, and thank you for asking it so I get the opportunity to answer it. But the stage is something that has taught me everything I know about performance.
The fact that you're a public figure and the fact that you're always under the spotlight, does that also create some kind of an added pressure? Do you feel that?
Well asked. Perhaps earlier, perhaps when I was slightly younger, I did think of that. I think I'm a cool guy in my head. I think I'm a wannabe cool guy, and as long as my friends think I'm cool and my family thinks I'm cool with that. I have no interest in chasing a random person and wanting them to think I'm cool. My work is appreciated with people, and that is my job. My job and duty is to, based on the story, either make you think or make you laugh or make you cry or make you feel something, or to help change your perspective based on a story, right? That's my job. what I do in my personal life is actually nobody else's business.